welcome to the stream. This is the finals of GG Overwatch Arena. We have Butter Oxide versus Unchained Esports.
Hi, I am Neto. I'm with Pahanan here, and I'm the coach for Unchained Esports. So I'm going to be offering analysis, and we're going to have fun time.
Indeed. I'm also the owner of the arena as well. I'll be watching over this game.
So the first... Oh yeah.
So I'm casting. Take it
away. Yeah, so the first map over here, we have Anubis. It is Unchained's pick. Yeah. So far, going to do this. Okay. Water oxides are... They are using team chat. Yep. Okay. That's why they're all muted like that. Alright, so... we'll be getting into this, and we are going to start off with Unchained on the defense. So, more than likely, what we're going to want to be seeing from Otter Oxide is we're going to want to see how they manage to actually dislodge a very high ground based setup from the side of Unchained.
Yeah. Also interested to see whoever plays Widow, who comes out on top.
Energy will guaranteed, no question. I'm not just saying I'm a Masters level DPS player now, and Energy's better than me. Like, that's the thing. He's nuts. This isn't just coach.
Carpe, though. Is he better than me?
You're not better than Carpe.
How do you know if you ever see me play?
Yeah, but no, Carpe's the best Widow in the world.
Actually, it's Costa.
Definitely Costa. Definitely Costa.
Alright, looks like both teams are ready.
So we will be starting into this. I'm interested to see both as a coach if my yelling factor and and just in general how the tanks are going to be wanting to play. Bone is actually going to offer the Reinhardt. So we practiced this both with a Reinhardt and Monkey. It's all about just high ground control. Bone is opting for a better on-point presence, better contest with his healers. Comparatively to just running this with a Monkey, in which case he has better high ground control, but less of a contest.
Yeah, something you also see a lot on this map as well is seeing the tree fort strategy, where they come up on the high ground behind the typical area that people defend in.
Yeah, that strategy, the issue with it is that a lot of the times it's actually very easy to counter if you properly play your point contest, right? So I'm actually interested in Ellie and Lucio. Ellie, I thought, was actually for the most part going to go Zen here because of the Discord and allows the extra tank pressure. But so far, we're going to be seeing. I'm guessing this is the comp that Otter Oxide are going to be running.
Yeah. Right.
Also, the stream's on a delay rate. I don't want my actual strats being shared as a coach being sniped.
I believe so.
Okay. So yeah, right now this setup is mostly about how Ellie can both protect the Ana and how we just make space for Energy. Kyo is the main person who's going to have the pressure to contest the point as well as take high ground because of his mobility as the diva. So we will see Poltergeist on the Widow. Let's see if he can actually contest Energy. We're going to have, besides that, what looks to be a mostly GOAT setup, except with Poltergeist on Widow. So Energy with the Scout is going to call this out. And we're just going to be seeing this Lucio setup. Now, the Junkrat here is actually very good, and not for the reason you might think. This is just, Junkrat's very good at displacing tanks and disrupting them. So, what it's going to do is it's going to create a lot of pressure on the healers for the side of Otter Oxide. But we will see the initial engagement Caustics with the trap. He's going to get picked by Pie Ninja, though. The charge for Bowl of Bulls gets wildly displaced, though, and Bone Collector isn't in a position to do a lot of damage, but Pie Ninja with a double, and Polter will win the Widow battle versus Energy. There wasn't. Yeah, right now I think is what is partially is the Lucio pick failing there. The Lucio pick needs to be in a position where to actually help your tanks effectively. But we are going to see Polter taking that very high angle, Bone will get the Fire Strike onto Bamboo. He should get out right now, or else he could potentially get punished for this aggression. However, he will come out safe. He's going to have the Shatter with next fight, along with possibly the Riptire and Nano Boost. So, ultimates actually are an advantage for Unchained here. They are playing, I'd say, a better ultimate economy in terms of actual more effective ultimates compared to the side of Otter Oxide, but at the same time, the push will come in with a Reinhardt, and this is all about the tank pressure. Pin is going to go onto the Diva, but that's a huge shatter from Bone Collector, gets 4.
He gets a big 3k. Stops the push.
And now Kyo gets demeched and Bone will die, but Energy is also going to take down Poltergeist, and this is 2 CP. Otter Oxide needs to die right now. All they're doing is staggering themselves. They are literally disadvantaging themselves. Yeah, so let's see if Bamboo Cactus can actually get out. Caustic is still in that junker with a tire, but we will have Sights, Bomb, and Beat coming up for the side of Unchained. On the other hand, we will have 5 ultimates for the side of Otter Oxide, so this is all about how they can counter. Notice that Poltergeist did actually use Sights, so we will see the counter Sights from Energy. This is actually favoring the defense here now, because what's going to happen is that's a huge sleep on the Reinhardt, and what that allows for is Bone Collector to get the pick onto a Disappoint, but the Shatter will be huge.
This bomb does anything. They stall. It's like Autorexia might take it at this point by using
Good stall though from Energy. He's on the May, and he's in a position where he can actually kill the Lucio, and that's gonna be what's gonna happen. So only a tick is actually. But at the same time, the counter charge is gonna create the stall. Kyo is on the ham, and he's putting a lot of pressure on these tanks. Caustic. The Shadow will come out, I believe.
Got the Night Bike, Savior is rigid.
But at the same time, yeah, this is gonna be a 2 CP stall and a half.
That's just a loss.
Yeah, they need to get out again. All they're doing is really staggering themselves. They did just Caustics with the tire kill. Crazy Cat is our team. He's our coach. He was my other coach with me. So, alright, so a Disappoint will actually get the pick on Harmon. So, or sorry, the other way around. Energy though will take down Poltergeist with the May pick, and now Caustic's on Pharah. This is actually a really good pick from Pharah, because Poltergeist doesn't have the sight lines to contest a Widow. If you actually look on Anubis point B, the pillars get in the way of shooting a Pharah, and Widow's actually incredibly bad on this point. So we will see Poltergeist actually going up to the pharmacy with a Disappoint. There are no more Lucio, and that's actually going to be very detrimental to the Rein Zarya, because now the Rein Zarya don't have a lot of mobility. And what that's going to allow is Ellie's Lucio combined with Bone is going to do so much, because Bone is going to have basically free mobility and free kind of aggression in terms of the pressure on the tanks. But now, Caustics is going to be on this far. Poltergeist isn't... That's a good, actually, charge from Bone, because what he's doing now is he's separating the team. The tank pressure is actually insane from the side of Otter. And the Shadow will go in return, but the Nano is going to save Bone, and meanwhile, we're just seeing a very, very discoordinated fight. But the thing is, Xavier on point is just getting stalled up by Kyo, while Bone gets the charge. And all that's gonna do is now Poltergeist actually does get the fire, but at the same time, Bone is in a position where he can stall up for a very long time, especially with that sound barrier coming out from Ellie. And again, all this is doing is stalling incredibly. So now Poltergeist with the barrage, but Ellie will take him down. Kyo also will get the mind kill onto Pie Ninja. So now what we're having is, again, an extended stall fight, which favors Unchained. It is 2 CP. This is incredibly weak for Otter Oxide, because they're not getting any progress, and all they're doing is building the ult economy. The Valkyrie will...
Mike is grabbing this fight,
and now...
It's a lost fight. They lost the Mercy, only got 1 healer.
Yeah, and that thing is more as a terrible healer in general, but the thing is, she is horrible.
Yeah, she takes a lot of effort to play with her resource management and stuff.
She also just doesn't provide any sort of utility whatsoever. She's a horrible healer.
Say that.
She is a horrible healer. I'm gonna be blunt with you.
That was a horrible healer. Soldier 76.
That's true. But Poltergeist is actually taking a lot of pressure from this on the pharmacy. Caustic's is going to swap onto the Mei, so now we're going to have a Tracer main. Energy has actually been practicing his Tracer a lot for this matchup because he realizes that this backline of Bamboo Cactus doesn't really play anything other than Moira, so he's actually been practicing his Tracer so he can harass the Moira greatly. However, Pine Ninja using his bubble again to just divert that backline pressure, but all we're having is Bone Collector being able to swing for free into the tanks because of a great wall from Caustic's. What?
He dies with his own bomb.
That is...
Working on his Tracer, huh? Makes sense.
No, he's actually a good... That happens to the best of us. But, yeah, no. Look, it's... They got 6 minutes at the start of this point, and all that's happened is they've got a tick. This is not the fight Otter Oxide wants to be taking over and over again. They keep on using their ultimates, then just getting stalled for forever, building the ultimates of Unchained. And this is just a very, very badly played ultimate economy. Meanwhile, Xavier will get demacked. Bamboo is low, anti-native, but this...
Big shatter.
So...
If the main right can come in and contest, they can use their abilities together to make a big shatter play.
But at the same time, we will see stall, hopefully. Caustic's, though, won't quite touch. And with about 15 seconds left, Otter Oxide will cap the point. Now, on attack, this is going to be a very, very different story, because the compositions Otter Oxide were playing are very, very hard compositions to play on defense when you aren't in a position where you can control the engagements. Attack control the engagements. They just do. And so what's going to happen is that it's going to be very, very hard for a Reinhardt to get a lot of room versus a dive composition, especially when he's going to be especially if he's going to be incredibly aggressive like he has been playing. Because all that's going to happen is that you're in a position where your supports are vulnerable, but your dive composition, like the dive composition is going to outmove you on first point Anubis, which is a counter strat. This is a complete counter strat, by the way.
Some things I always say in my streams is appreciate the sky drops on Overwatch. There is no need for them, but developers put effort into them. Look at that skybox. So it's always appreciating games.
So now we will see the Junkrat Widow with a Ryan Diva and Ana Moira. Now, the Moira is the weak part of this composition. I've already said my thoughts on Moira. The issue with this composition is that the high ground control is lackluster because the Moira can't heal on high ground, and if the Ana gets pressured, then you're not going to have any healing in terms of high ground versus a dive composition, whereas this is essential. So... Did you just call Moira a utility healer?
Yeah, because she's better suited for stuff like comps that are more...
That is not what the term utility healer means, but Pine Ninja does get the mines onto Ellie. Energy does get trapped, but at the same time, Harmon's gonna get picked. Bull of Bulls is just gonna charge in, and this is a reset for Unchained. They need to get out as soon as possible. That's just unlucky losing Lucio that early in the fight. So now...
Essential 12 to pushing in. Just really important for pushing in.
Now note, that nade was used. Nade is on a 12-second cooldown, and that's not going to be up by the time the engagement starts. So that's actually a slight mistake from I disappoint. You don't want to be... But at the same time, that sleep's not going to do much because he's instantly awoken by the poke damage. Xavier EXE's from the top, but again, he's not going to be doing much. Pine Ninja is actually going to be straight up missing the contest on the high ground. Poltergeist will win the battle versus Energy, but Bone Collector gets slept again. So now, Moira is going to get pressured. Bone Collector's trying to force out the Fade here, but he's going to be into their tanks. He has his jump to get out, though, and that's what he's going to use to escape. However, he does miss his jump, and what's going to be happening is that this fight will be lost. This is going to be another reset for Unchained. So now,
Pine Ninja going really exposed here, I guess, that would make the brains back up.
So Kyo once again getting slept. These are some sleeps from a disappointment that I'm not really sure make the biggest difference because they're outside of the fight direct, and so we will see the actual shatter and tire. However, the point will be forced to contest. A disappointment will actually getting picked by Kyo. However, Caustics will be falling down. Nano goes on to Bone Collector. Not to mention the fact that right now the picks are going on to Widow and Ana. Ana's still going to be coming back. Bone Collector should get out right now. He's just feeding ult in terms of... It's not worth it to contest though, because you're not actually getting any progress when your team's not there. However, he is actually in a position where if he gets a kill here, this is going to do so much damage. Caustics will swap onto Pharah, realizing that the Widow's temporarily out of the fight. This is huge. Kyo will get demaxed, but he does have his bomb. He will be in a position to remax. Bone will, however, be pinning the Rhine in the corner, juggling him. Energy does take down Poltergeist for a second time, so now there's nothing to contest Caustics. Caustics now doing actually a lot of damage into that room. Disappoint is in a very stressful position, does get picked down. High Ninja will take down the mech of Kyo, but Caustics once again gets a triple on that Pharah. This is actually very good tank play from the side of Bone Collector because he's making all that space for his Pharah. He's distracting the only two people who can shoot the Pharah, which are the supports, are being distracted. So now we are going to see the point flip, 4 minutes and 50 seconds and change. Going to be going to the side of Unchained to capture the second point. So now, Widow will be using sights versus Pharah, but again, Widow doesn't have the sights to contest Pharah on this point. This is what I'm talking about.
I would just go for like a McCree instead.
Yeah, McCree is infinitely better on this point because Widow just does not have sightlines. Look at the giant holes in your face. It makes it very...
McCree can also stun in your Rhine and make some big plays with this fight.
Xavier does get demacked before the fight even starts. The two tanks do get anti, but Caustics in the backline gets two. So now Kyo is actually in a position pressuring Bamboo Cactus, but however, at this point should be dying right here. The res does go on to Bone Collector. This is Kyo's going to get the pick onto a disappoint, and Bowls is actually getting massively pressured right here. Poltergeist is swapping onto the Pharah of his own, but remember, this Pharah can't actually, if they want to actually contest, has to be down on the ground. So basically, ults were forced there. Kyo will have the bomb, Energy will sights, Harmon will have the nano boost.
You also sing as well?
So
I hate this.
right now this engagement is about how much Pine Ninja can do. The walls will come out from the side of Energy. He's gonna try to now take down this Pharah because if he knows the Pharah's taken down, and look, and the Mercy gets picked down by the bomb, so that's very worth it. They died doing the res by the bomb. Poltergeist does take down Caustics, but Bone will be doing massive amounts of work. Energy is clicking heads in the backline. He just got 3 kills this fight. High Ninja trying to use the tire, but doesn't kill Bone, and all you're going to be having is payload progress right now. Bone's going to miss the charge onto a disappoint. High Ninja's going to just try to be stalling this out. Now, Bamboo Cactus is going to be taking a lot of damage. This fight has been 2 CP'd, by the way. Yeah, so now. Yeah. So. Disappointment on Brig. A disappointment on Brig doesn't make sense because now they're running Mara Brig on heals, also known as the worst healer duo I've ever seen. Energy is actually going to be swapping to Soldier here, which makes a lot of sense because what he's trying to do is outpace the healing. Because Mara's resource management combined with Brig just not being a healer, they're a DPS. They're running triple DPS right now. That is a very, very bad situation for them because Soldier's going to have that sustained damage, and that's very hard to deal with. It's also going to actually add a lot of pressure onto the Pharah. So now, Caustics will kill himself to kill the D.Va mech, but this does favor the attack heavily. Right now, Bone is nanoed and swinging. The res will go on to Caustics. Bone does get trapped, but Poltergeist is just in a massive amount of trouble. He's trying to get out, but the capture progress will be going on the point. The 1 tick will be going, and it looks like 2 ticks if this doesn't change fast for the side of Otter Oxide. So that's actually really nice awareness from Kyo. He just saved his team from that barrage, and now the time advantage will go to Unchained. Yay! Go Unchained. Coach buys, by the way. So yeah, 37 seconds up. This will see the attack. First of all, I'm interested to see the changes that it's probably going to be a combination of energy and bone calling, because they are going to be our shot callers for most of this. I'm interested to see what changes, if any, they're going to make in terms of playstyle. And it is going to go on the Mei, and I actually agree with this a lot, because...
I disagree because I hate Mei.
No, but in terms of an actual compositional idea, that works a lot better than the Widow would on the...
She can wall off and just split a team while they're pushing it.
And what that does is that alleviates a lot of tank pressure on Bone. Bone and Kyo are going to be running dive, so what they're going to be trying to get at is the backline. And so what the Mei does is it both helps it makes it harder for the tanks to peel for their backline, but it also just alleviates a lot of tank pressure if you're going to want to be running a poke dive. And it looks like Bone and Kyo are going to try to be running a poke dive. I do like the swap. Ellie's going to be on the Mercy, which I somewhat disagree with as a pick, but not to an egregious extent. The issue with Mercy is, who are you going to poke in this composition? But, so, 60 seconds for the push. And
is excellent at this kind of environment too, where it's very little time left.
Energy is also in a good position to contest Widow. Bone is actually going to get juked by the Widow of Poltergeist. Bone's out of position, but he's actually still... High Ninja, though, does take down Energy, and I would take this trade if I was the offense. But Kyo, however, will take down Disappointed. This is where it starts to get sketchy, because if you manage to build ults as the defense, you only get 30 seconds. So this is actually how you should be playing from the defense, which is just trying to build ults as fast as possible. You don't even want to try to hold this, really, because you just want to try to build ults as much as possible, which they are doing incredibly. Look at their ult percentages compared to the rally, which is forced to be expended. Poltergeist is going to swap onto the far now. Energy. Arman needs to die. Arman needs to die. He's going to die. So now, the point swaps, they're going to get 30 seconds. Caustics with the tire. He does get 2. That's going to delay, actually, a fair bit, because Caustics now, what's going to contest him? Sure, there's the fire, but Caustics can now just harass the team. And when they're focused on him, they end up being forced to just have to put in a lot of effort. There's 10 seconds left. There's 10 seconds left, and they're not going to get really to point easily. Now the ultimates are going to come out. There's going to be Bomb Nano, and also a Mei ultimate potentially coming up. That is huge. That's no point at all. That was beautifully played from Unchained. They were playing a perfect stall. So now, minute 37. Let's see how Unchained approaches this attack. If I were them, I would try to be playing a Genji composition, going for a Nano Blade as your win condition, because if you get a Nano Blade, you've at least guaranteed a draw. And that's at the very least. Caustics is an amazing Genji, and I wouldn't doubt that he could actually get 2 blades in 2 fights. So, we're gonna see. Are we gonna see the Junkrat Pharah? If it comes out, I don't deny that Energy. Actually, we're gonna see the Junkrat McCree. Harman's gonna be on the Moira. Are they gonna be running classical goats? That's actually a question. Moira Brig. Every bone in my body is hurting right now as a coach of this team. Why? I've coached you better than this.
Really not. You're still going Moira Brig.
Actually, Harman, I haven't coached yet because he's not been for scrims. I've coached the sub for him, so I don't know. But everyone else should know that.
I do really agree that Moira and Brig are not a good killer combo. Probably the worst.
rigs the DPS.
She's
That's-
Lucio on DPS basically.
The cost actually will be going far here. The McCree pick, I'm not sure what it's trying to do here. The McCree from Pie Ninja, I don't believe actually has the ability to contest too well, because as soon as you're at the same time the fire is going to be lacking healing, so that's the two sides of the coin. But now, at the same time, a disappoint gets picked off early. This is equal, but the issue is that there's going to be another fight. Caustix is right now just doing a ton of damage, and any pick matters because it takes a long time for a Mercy with no pickup to get back.
It looks like Oxide is good for now. They managed to stop the push.
But look how far behind Poltergeist and a disappoint are. This engagement,
Rush it.
more specifically Poltergeist, he's not in a position to help his team. So now Caustix is swapping to the Genji. He realizes the Blade is huge. If Blade can do so much work, especially, he also doesn't want to be playing this all too well into a McCree. The Shatter is huge. 30 seconds though from Caustix. See if he manages to touch. Alright, so alright. You should be able to, especially if they're focused on bone.
He's not able to, he gets stunned.
Oh, that's unlucky. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to my team.
Right. Looks like Unchained takes a very decisive map 1 win.
Play of the game.
Bull Bulls can play the game. Just the score really quick. Alright, looks like Unchained is taking the lead for now. And I'll be back here soon as soon as Unchained picks a map.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Alright, we're back on Lijiang Tower. We're gonna see what both teams have to offer. I'm also alone here, as Noto has decided to not stream this, not cast this map. This is a map that I really enjoy. You see a lot of different comps come out, such as Goat, Dive, Bear comps, a lot of different stuff. Really juicy comps. See what both teams come up with. Looks like Unchained is coming out with a Goats comp, and so is Unchained with a variation of it. Typically you see Moira instead of Zenyatta in that role. We see Energy just being positive earlier on the ship.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round
Right.
1.
Attackers
Capture
coming in.
the objective.
It looks like they're taking different approaches to get to the point. So both teams are cheating. If you guys guess the first pick, Austin's fires back. That move gets big. Keep going back and forth those things. Ryan gets rest. Where's the split? Mike, see how Ryan's taking the point here. So Mike. Here we go. I do see the Unchained esports comp being a bit more effective due to the Zenyatta giving damage boosting, but it's all about who hits the first pick. Bullet picks off the ratio. Really important in these comps.
Surrender to my will.
So far, on our side uncontested. They've barely died on this point since they took it. We might see some changes inside of Unchained, and we do. We see energy go onto the soldier. Good for picking off Pharah. Might see a Rhine fight right here. Who gets the baddest shatter first? And Bulls does so. His own fires back. Bolts are coming out left and right. Bulls gets this Zenyatta. Mitsu gets rest as well. The fight is on the point. This might be the last fight on this point. Harman, the only one on the point contesting along with Kyo. Trying their best to draw out this fight. Possibly retake it. If one of you guys gets at least one pick, this might be huge. Maybe Debok to contest. Ryan comes back as well. It's effortless though, they're trickling.
Score 0-1.
Oh, looks like we need a pause here. So far, Roxy looking uncontested on this map. You can tell they've really prepared for this. Alright, looks like they were pausing for talking with the coach. Alright, let's see what both teams are running. Also, what are XI running the exact same thing around before? Same with Unchained.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round
Alright.
2. Capture the objective.
Fake commence. Looks like Anorexic is going straight into the hallway. Ooh, Bulbul's getting aggressive here. Looks like Unchained Esports getting pushed back a little bit here. Bulbul's already has a shatter. It's big.
My will made real.
Really interesting fight there. Unchained barely could do anything.
The power of destruction.
Barely going halfway on their ults. Looks like they're taking the exact same fight they did before. Maybe not actually. See Genji trying to go for the Mercy in the back. One coach is getting in there, he's nano boosted. It's like esports Mike, Unchained Esports Mike friendly fighting back here. One coach has a shatter, he might use it right now. He does. Kyo gets 2 with the self-destruct, both healers. This might be the fight. Moria manages to almost get away. It's like we're back into another fight. Caustic gets the Mercy early on. This might be huge. Might stop their push. One collector getting really aggressive here. Ends up getting punished. Caustic's almost close to another blade. The Mike Nano blade here. It looks like Graf gets eaten. Energy pops his high noon. Gets the getting contested on the high ground, it seems. Anorexic might take this point. Bamboo gets Harmon. Looks like Unchained also expanded Nano Blade and definitely got Blade and Break Ultimate to work with. You also see the timer ticking down slowly. This might be the last fight we see on this map. Caustic's might just split here. Try and stop them. And he misses his targets. Oh, he gets Poltergeist actually. One collector really low. Big shatter on the side of Bulls yet again. One collector gets nano boosted. Looks like Unchained has this fight in the bag. Alright, we see other are going from the back here. They might just go fully around them. They get spotted, it seems. Big shatter from the side of Unchained. And Unchained winning this fight. Otherwise it has to hurry on to the point. They're gonna lose this point. Unchained pushing up to the door, trying to stop them. At least we can test this. You have to see some big, good ultimate usage here. Poltergeist gets picked off and he has his barrage. Well, might use his shatter here. Desperation. Gets 2. Gets split though from his target. It's for Diana doing work here, keeping their team up. They can touch point. The point goes to the side of Unchained.
Score 1-1.
And moving on to the last area here. Gardens. You might see Widowmaker or Pharah come out here. It looks like we do. This is probably my favorite area as well. You can contest really easily as Hammond. Looks like no one's running Hammond today.
Capture the objective.
Might see Pharah try to go for a boop here, but nobody's on the bridge. Ooh, Poltergeist gets picked off by energy. A lot of the members on the side of Auto are dropping really low. No healers. Got one healer. Getting pushed right now. It's a rough fight on the side of Auto side. Unchained just took that easily. Looks like they switch off some things. Wallable switches onto the Winston here. Interesting pick. Widowmaker trying to her best to kill the Pharah on the side of Butterock side. Bull tries to go into the back lane. They might just get bursted down. Also, Megamin somehow falls off the map. Caustic gets the net off the point then. I mean off the edge, and Shatter gets used up. It's nothing. Nobody's alive. We see also see Poltergeist switch onto the Widowmaker.
No one can hide from my sight. Justice reigns from above.
Unchained is having really scramble fights here. Saber falls off the map. Perhaps nobody will touch point here. Ooh, Bulbos gets pushed off the edge. Bolt's coming out here. This is a lost map. Unchained probably took this, and they did. Alright, I'll be back later in like 5 minutes. This was a good map to see.
Traveling to Mumbai. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Time to raise my APM.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Boosters engaged. Routing power to forward shield.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Everyone stay on the
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
No one can hide from my sight.
Take your medicine.
Dein Schutzengel ist da. Helden sterben nicht.
وريهم قوتك.
Nothing can stop me.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Experience tranquility. I am on fire.
不许走！Allah teammate. This engel ist da.
وريهم قوتك.
Locked on.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Defend
the iris.
Gale the Mahal.
Score 3-3. Switching sides. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Thanks for the assist. Sixty seconds remaining.
Clearing the area. Justice reigns. Operating at maximum efficiency.
30 seconds remaining. Team kill.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
10 seconds.
I've got you in my sights.
Helden sterben nicht. Nerf this. Suit up.
Pardon me.
Score Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Boosters engaged. Taking off.
5, 4, 3, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Shoot you down. Rally towards forward area.
Victory. Play of the game.
Justice reigns from above.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Engaging fortification.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Protect the payload.
Heal me.
Falling behind me. I.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
No one can hide from my sight. I need to recharge. No one can hide from my sight.
Teammate. Time to breathe my ECM. Let's do this. I'm going to shoot you down.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Let's keep the payload moving.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I'm feeling angry.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
This will restore you. Gale de Mahal!
Suiting up. I'll show them. Rally to me!
30 seconds remaining.
Everyone stick together and do this. I'm on fire. Come on, try me.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
This is my will. Ça pique, n'est-ce pas? This will heal you. I am very powerful. Don't mess with my family.
I'll show them.
Sorry, Reinhardt.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Justice reigns from above.
Good thing I brought an umbrella. Enemy deserves this.
Justice reigns from above.
Гейл Домогол! Огонь по готовности!
Alla till mig! I am Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Greetings!
60 seconds remaining. Play of the game. Double epic.
It's nice to feel appreciated.
Now arriving at Eos. Five, four, three, two, one. Round one. Capture the objective.
Objective. Support requested.
This attempted had my aim all around.
Score 1-0. Five, four, three, two, one. Round two. Capture the objective. The objective is
Thanks for the assist. Gale the Mahal.
Pass into the iris.
Touch from afar. Justice reigns from above.
Dein Schutzengel ist da. Helden sterben nicht. Personne n'échappe à mon regard. Helden sterben nicht.
Cease your resistance.
Justice reigns from above.
Gale the Mahal.
Iris.
Move back. Clearing the area.
Score 1-1.
Surrender to my will. Justice reigns from up.
Victory. Play of the game.